Welcome to the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network. I'm Jeffrey Guterman, and welcome to the big game. Cincinnati Reds at the New York Mets. We'll be starting momentarily. Stand by. Good evening, Kathy Harden. I don't know if you like the motif I've created, the filter for a night game. Just a small attempt to make it more like a night game. I don't know if it's harder to see or what. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Shea Stadium. Okay, it's supposed to simulate a night game. We're at Shea Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, for the big game. This is a big game for a number of reasons. Number one, it's the fourth game of a four-game series between the Reds and the Mets. The Mets have taken 2 out of 3, and they are 1 game under 500. This is the best record the New York Mets have ever had this late in the season in franchise history. And they're 11.5 behind the first place Pirates. The Reds, it's also an interesting game because Johnny Bench is back in the lineup from reserve duty. And Alex Johnson is back in the lineup, but he's knocked down to 7th place. So we're sure glad to see you. We'll have our starting lineups in just a minute. But first, our national anthem.
National breakdown of the grid, and they announced it days before that they was doing it.
Welcome to Shea Stadium. And it's the Reds at the Mets. Good crowd out here. Beautiful night. Let's look at our starting lineups for the Cincinnati Reds. Leading off, Pete Rose in right. Batting second, Chico Ruiz at second base. Batting third, Bobby Tolan in center. Batting fourth, Tony Perez playing third base. Batting fifth, Lee May at first. Batting sixth, Johnny Bench catching, back from reserve duty. Batting seventh, Alex Johnson in left field. Back from an injury. He's been out for a while. Batting eighth, Woody Woodward at short. And pitching, Jerry Arrigo, the left-hander. Jerry Arrigo. For the New York Mets, they've got their right-handed platoon lineup against the left-hander Arrigo. Leading off, Tommy Agee in center. Bobby File batting second at second base. Batting third, Cleon Jones in left. Batting fourth, Don Clendenin. Batting fifth, Ron Swoboda in right. Ed Charles batting sixth at third base. Jerry Grody catching, batting seventh. Batting eighth, Al Weiss at shortstop, and the pitcher, Don Cardwell, the right-hander. And the Mets take the field. And leading it off for the Cincinnati Reds, Pete Rose, switch hitter, batting left against Cardwell. Here's Cardwell now. He gets the sign from Grody. He winds, and the pitch to Rose. 4-8. He grounds it to short. Weiss over to Clendenin, and it's one out. And now Chico Ruiz. There's something there's a hyper realism when I play night games and when I smoke cannabis with my Strat-O-Matic, but I'm going to be careful not to go too much. But if I find the first signs of fatigue, and I will suspend this ball game, first signs of cloudiness and dizziness and all the other things, beautiful crowd. It's over 40,000 here. There were 55,000 in real world. I happened to look at the box score. Ruiz, a switch hitter, batting left against Cardwell. Here's Cardwell now. And the pitch, 3-7. Base hit up the middle for Chico. So Chico is on. And here's Bobby Tolan. That's it. I won't take any more hits until the fourth inning. I think that's a smart thing. Here's Bobby Tolan now. Left-handed hitter against Cardwell. Cardwell will work from the stretch now. I think just that tiny hit helps. Here's the pitch to Tolan. 2-2. Lines at the second, catching Ruiz in a rundown, and he's tagged out for the double play. Heads up play there by Bobby File. It's a double play. Yeah, no runs, one hit, none left. We've gone half. Cincinnati, nothing. And the Mets coming to bat, and that's as clean as a baby's ass right there. No war zone yet. Here's Jerry Arrigo. Left-hander, spot starter for the Reds. And Tommy Agee steps in. Agee bats right-handed. What's that, Kathy Horton? Oh, yeah, not yet. Yeah, sometimes I forget what I said, and then you comment. Here's Agee now. Pitch from Arrigo. 1-8. Swung on and belted to left. Going back is Johnson. It's gone. Agee opens up the first with a home run off Arrigo. And the fans are going crazy. Oh my. Let's look at that again. 1-8. And he knocked it clear to Palookaville. And the Mets take a 1-0 lead. This is history, folks. They have never had a record this good, being one game under 500 this late in the season. And they have a chance to even it up to 500 baseball. People like to talk about how the Mets don't play well. The 69 Strat-O-Matic team does not translate like the real world Mets, but I'm agnostic, but if there is a God, she was looking out for the Mets that season. So we still make a big deal out of how well the Mets are doing. And Agee blasts it off Arrigo. And here comes Bobby File, who made that double play in the top of the first. Off to a quick start here. Okay, Arrigo is ready. Here's the pitch. Grounds it to second. That's for Chico. 12-3. And he throws him out. One down. So File retired. And here comes Cleon. Cleon Jones. Vying for the batting title. With Clemente and Rose. Here's the pitch from Arrigo. 4-8. Walked him. So Cleon draws a walk. And Don Clendenin, acquired from the Expos. I think he was with Pittsburgh before that. Here's Arrigo from the stretch. Jones on first, one down. 6-4, grounds it to short. This could be two. Woodward, 16-3. Oh no, he gets the force. He can only get Jones at second. And Ruiz could not find the handle to try to get Clendenin at first. So it's a force out, two down with Clendenin first. And here's Ron Swoboda. It's underway here at Shea. Arrigo into the windup. 4-2. Struck him out. And the side is retired, but there was one run on one hit, the solo home run by Tommy Agee to lead off the inning, and a walk, one left on. It's 1-0 Mets after one. Well, we're 1/9 done, and I'm not off the wall. I'm not freaking. Here's Don Cardwell now. If you're noticing something different with the video, it's to reflect the night game. It's the best I could do. Here's Tony Perez to lead it off, top of the second. Cardwell, the pitch to Perez. 2-9. He struck him out. First strikeout for Don Cardwell. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, I missed that. Yeah, he struck him out. I'm correct. Here's Lee May now. Sometimes you get paranoid, you know what I mean? Don Cardwell now, facing Big Lee May. The pitch to May. 6-4, catcher X, Grody. Drops a pop-up. Unlike Jerry Grody, it just dropped out of his glove. A pop-up just to the side of home plate. So May is on first. I guess he could have done more damage. And here's Bench now. His first plate appearance since coming back from military reserve duty. Cardwell from the stretch now. And the pitch to Bench. 5-8. Grounds it to third for the force. Ed Charles to File. It's 2 down, and Bench is on first. And here's Alex Johnson, his first plate appearance since a 2-week injury, at least. Cardwell, the pitch, 3-9. Grounds it to short. Weiss over to Clendenin, and the side is retired. How about that? No runs, no hits. The error by Grody. I feel bad for Jerry. He's very serious. One left on in the middle of the second. It's a 1-0 ball game. And here's Jerry Arrigo. Ed Charles will lead it off, the poet. He died recently, like two years ago, 2.5 years ago. Here's the pitch to Charles. He flies it to left, and Alex Johnson makes the catch. 1 down in the bottom of the second. Here's Jerry Grody. And he's hit by the pitch. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. It's a base hit for Grody, right through the middle. Actually to the left side, I'm sorry. Yeah, missing up all around. But Grody is on first with a base hit. And Al Weiss, the batter. Cardwell on deck. Pitch from Arrigo. 4-5. Flies it to left. Under it is Alex Johnson, and Grody holds. 2 down for Don Cardwell. Cardwell, a 6 NR, a 1 in the field. Six-eight, and it's a base hit to right by Don Cardwell, opposite field. Grody goes to second. He'll hold at 1-11. And here comes Agee now. Big hand for Agee. Listen for it. First and second, 2 down. Arrigo, the pitch to Agee. 1-4, and he walked him. Pitching around Agee. That's when you don't give him anything to hit, and you just decide eventually to walk him. That's going to load the bases up with New York Mets and Bobby File. An anemic hitter, 232, like many of the Mets. He is a B bunter. It's bases loaded, 2 outs. Arrigo is in trouble. Here's the pitch. 5-6, pops it up to short. Woodward makes the catch, and that side is retired, and that's very Met-like, to leave 3 runners on base. My father used to always talk about how many runners that the Mets left on base. Well, it's 1-0 after 2, and Don Cardwell got into trouble, a little bit of trouble in the second, but got out of it quite readily. He's facing Woodward. 3-7. Base hit to left for Woodward. Now Jerry Arrigo is the batter. He's a D bunter. That would make him an E. They're not even going to hold him. They're not even going to go infield in on him. Oh, Ron McGrath has arrived. The pitch to Arrigo, 2-9, struck him out. Second for Cardwell. Ron McGrath has arrived, everybody. We'll go back to the top of the order. Big game tonight, Ron. Bench, Johnson, Alex Johnson back in the lineup. Mets trying to reach 500. Best record they've ever had since this slate, since the franchise. Pete Rose at the plate, batting left against Cardwell. Woodward on first, 1 down. 1-9, and he grounds it to first for the force. Nice play by Clendenin, threw it right to File. But File could not get it back. So it's 2 outs and Rose on first. And Chico Ruiz the batter. Chico singled. He was caught in a rundown and doubled up. Cardwell. 2-6. Fly ball right. And Ronald makes the catch. And the side is retired. Cardwell gets out of that. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And we're in the middle of the third. It's a 1-0 ball game due to Tommy Agee's error, home run. Here comes Jerry Arrigo. He loaded the bases with Mets with 2 outs and got out of it. Here comes Cleon. Cleon walked in the first. The pitch from Arrigo. 1-6. That looks good. That's going to be a triple. A stand-up triple by Jones to open up the third. Listen to that crowd. Oh my. Cleon caught an Arrigo breaking pitch, and he tripled to left center. Cleon's been doing it all frickin' year. Here's Don Clendenin now. Arrigo will work from the stretch. Pitch to Clendenin. 6-10. Grounds it to short. 1 down. Holding Jones. Nice play by Woodward. And here comes Ronald. Ronald 0 for 1, struck out in the first. Here's Arrigo from the stretch with Jones on third, one down. Pitch to Swoboda, 6-9, flies it to right. This might be deep enough for Jones to score. Rose has it, and yes, Jones comes in easily, and it's 2-0 Mets over the Reds. A fly ball is all that was needed with one out. 6-9, fly to right, B. So it's 2-0 Mets. Swoboda does his job. And here's Ed Charles, 2 outs, no one on. 6-8. Base hit to right field by Ed Charles. Boy, he hit that. And that was a nice piece of hitting by Ed. So Ed Charles on first with 2 down. And Jerry Grote. Grote singled, left on base. Pitch from Arrigo. Oh, that almost fell off. It's hit deep. Way back by Grote, and that's a double off the wall. Charles rounding. 1-14. I didn't think that Eddie still had the speed. We'll make that 1-16 with 2 outs. 1-14 with Tolan. Charles coming home to the plate. The throw by Bobby Tolan. And he's safe. Oh, Grote goes to third. And the fans are roaring. Jerry Grote with a 2-out double to send home Charles on his horse. Rounding third, scoring from first. There's action in the Cincinnati bullpen, my lord. Granger is not available. Culver is not available. Jack Fisher is warming. He's a right-hander. Oh. I'm sorry. Fisher can sit down. Clay Carroll is warming. Clay Carroll. Did you know, and this is just some, well, it's not trivia to him, his family. I think his wife and stepson were murdered, or his wife and son were murdered, something like that, on a shooting by the stepson. And Carroll was also shot, but of course he survived. I think he's still alive now. Look, stuff like that hits people in all stratums. So Jerry Grote, a 2-out rally. It was Jones who tripled, and then with 1 out, Swoboda knocked him home with a fly ball to Rose and right. So there's 2 outs, and then Charles singles, and then Grote knocks him home. And the batter is Al Weiss with Grote on third. I've seen this movie before. We had Jones on third, but now there's 2 outs. Arrigo trying to settle down. 4-6, walked him. So it's first and third, 2 outs, and they will let Arrigo pitch to Cardwell. But if he doesn't get this fucker out, I would pull him just for the show of it. I mean, it's that he hasn't reached fatigue. You know what I'm saying? Here's Cardwell now. 6 NR, pitch from Arrigo. There's 2-6. He struck him out. So who knows? Maybe Arrigo can stay in. But there were 2 runs on 3 hits. I already told you about the inning. They left 2 on. That's a time when it's okay to leave 2 on. People don't realize that. And after 3, it's 3-0 Mets. We're in the 4th. And here's Don Cardwell, who's very quietly pitching very nice baseball. And Bobby Tolan will lead it off. Boy, there's a lot of A lot of things happening today. The home run by Agee, the leadoff triple by Jones, and then the 2-out rally, topped by Jerry Grody with a big double. He's 2 for 2, by the way. After he dropped that pop-up in the second, I would say he is redeemed. He was a great catcher. Really a great catcher. Here's Tolan now. What the fuck? The fuck just happened? Excuse my language. Lord. What the hell is that? Having a little technical difficulties. You can always refresh. Okay, that's a little better. Here comes Tolan. Pitch from Cardwell. 5-8. Grounds it to first. Clendenin steps on the bag. Here's Tony Perez. Keep it going, Don. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Perez struck out in the second. 4-6. Struck him out again. And that's the third for Cardwell. This is turning into a Mets night. A historic night. It's Lee May now. May reached on the drop pop-up by Grody. 4-4. Grounds it to short. Weiss. And throws him out. And the side is retired. 1-2-3 for Cardwell. It's 3-0 Mets. Bottom of the fourth. And Jerry Arrigo will be given at least one more chance. And here comes Agee. Agee homered in the bottom of the first to lead it off. He walked and was left on. You remember Mets had bases loaded with 2 outs. Jerry Arrigo and the pitch to Agee. 4-7. Walked him. That's the second time. Arrigo is being very, very, very careful with Agee. Here's Bobby Field. Infield is in. He's a B bunter. That makes him a C. The pitch to File. File. And he lays it down. Uh-oh. That doesn't smell right. A 9C. Oh, Lord. He's safe. It's a force. Bench got in front of it and threw Agee out. It goes to show you how good Bench is. So it's 1 out, and File is on first. Here's Cleon. Walked and then tripled to open the third. Came home. Pitch to Jones. 3-7. He walked him. And that's it for Jerry Arrigo. Maybe it was a snap decision, but he went 3 1/3. And the Reds manager has seen enough of him. I don't think Sparky was the manager yet. I could be wrong. I thought he started in the 1970. Arrigo walked 5. He's allowed 3 thus far. It's first and second, 1 out. And Clay Carroll comes in. Gonna let him take a few warm-ups on the mound. I think it's only right. And he's ready. And here comes Don Clendenin with 1 out, first and second. Mets lead 3-0. Pitch from Carroll. 1-6, and it's hit deep. Oh, that one's off the wall. That almost left. 1-16. It's a 19. Isn't that a shame? But it's a double by Clendenin. Files scores. Jones to third. Will he come home? 1-16 with 1 out. And that was to center field. 1-16, -2 Tolan. 1-14. Here comes Jones and the throw again from Tolan. And he's safe again. So a 2-run double by Don Clendenin here in the 4th. And the fans are just ecstatic. Another rally here by the Mets. And here's Ron Swoboda. Lord, what a game. It's Clendenin on second, 1 out. Carroll. And the pitch, 4-8. Walked him. So Clay Carroll having problems. Now Ed Charles. 6-8. Grounds it to short, double play, and the side is retired. Beauty. Woodward to Chico to Lee May. So Clay Carroll gets out of it with 2 runs scored. We can check Arrigo out. 5 runs in 3 1/3 innings. And here come the Reds in the top of the 5th. Lord, what a ball game. And we sure hope you're enjoying the ball game. I had said after the 4th I'm going to do another ingestion. I hope that's okay with you, Kathy Harden. Big night here at Shea Stadium. We got easily over 40,000 in attendance. The Mets on the verge of history, franchise history. The first time they have had this good a record this late in the season, and they're on the verge of becoming a 500 baseball team. And they're only 11.5 behind the first place Bucks. And meanwhile, Don Cardwell is pitching very good baseball. He's got into a couple jams, but really just one, but really retired the side in order. This inning it will be Bench, Johnson, and Woodward. Bench Johnson, for those of you who have just joined us, he was out for about 3 games for military reserve duty. How do I know that? Because on the 25th, the second game of this series, July 25, 1969, this game was broadcast and it's on YouTube. I linked it on the community board. Make sure you check out the community board for updates. Cardwell has been very steady tonight. This is medical, so save the stigmatization, please. Leave it at the door, okay? Okay, here comes Bench now. Top of the 5th, Cardwell. 2-8. It's hit deep by Bench. Oh, and that's a 19. It's a double. It almost cleared the fence. A double off center field by Bench to lead it off. Look at that again. 2-8, 1-16. It's gone. Well, that's a 19, so it's a double. A stand-up double by Johnny Bench. And now it's Alex Johnson. Now that's a nice 6-7 punch to have Bench and then Alex Johnson. Cardwell will work from the stretch now. 2-12. Flies it to left. Cleon makes the catch. Now Woody Woodward. 6-7. Grounds it to second X. That's going to be for File. He's a 3. Reroll. And he throws him out. And Bench holds. And some of you may think this is unconventional. I gotta tell you, the Cincinnati Reds bullpen is very, very, very tired. And, well, I won't do it. I'll have a pinch hitter for Clay Carroll. I should have put someone else in, but it doesn't matter, really. Carroll ends up pitching 2/3. A double, a walk, no runs. Remember, it's fantasy, people. Take it seriously, but not too seriously. Here is Jack Fisher. Jack Fisher, a right-hander who will come in. With the Reds down 5-0. I mean, after all, it is 5-0. If they can get a run or two here, a clutch hit, it sure would be helpful. So let's see who's going to hit here for Clay Carroll. Coming in is Jimmy Stewart. I like Jimmy Stewart. He plays. He starts on occasion. I like him as a pinch hitter. He's a switch hitter. So Stewart will bat left-handed against Don Cardwell in a clutch situation. It's 5-0 Mets. Big Mets night. Cardwell, the pitch to Stewart. 6-4. Catcher X, Grody. Reroll. And it dribbles in front of the plate. Grody throws Stewart out at first. And a big hand for Jerry Grody because, you know, he's so hardworking. He made the error in the second. Went on to get a single and a big double for a run batted in. And the side is retired. We're in the middle of the 5th now. It'll be Jack Fisher. We'll let Jack take a few warm-ups as we are heading to the bottom of the 5th. Trying to hold my own, but I think that would be inappropriate since I'm on YouTube. I know you're not seeing me, but you don't want me to be holding my own. And look who's coming up against Jack Fisher. Jerry Grody gets a big hand. I took a sufficient hit, so I don't need any more. We'll go at the end of the game. I don't even need any for the night, period. But we'll see. Grody 2 for 2 tonight. Big night for the Mets. Jack Fisher. And the pitch to Grody, 4-7. And he slashes it. Stopped by Lee May. Tosses it to Fisher. covering the big, and there's one out. Oh my, Grody almost got one through there. But it was a 15. And May bagged it nicely. Here's Al Weiss. Some real exciting baseball out here tonight at Shea on the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network, SBN. All right, Fisher, and the pitch to Weiss. 3-3. He grounds it to first. May again. And again he tosses it to Fisher, covering the bag. Nice plays, 2 outs. And here comes Don Cardwell. Let's not forget, he's still pitching a shutout. He gets a good hand. And the pitch to Cardwell. 3-11. And it's chopped to second. Chico. Over to Lee May, and the side is retired. That's 1-2-3 for Jack Fisher. And I'll tell you, Jack looked good. Covering the bag twice. Jack Fisher looked real good. So if he can hold the line, Reds have a chance. Here's Cardwell now. Facing the top of this Reds lineup, it's Pete Rose to lead it off. Real world batting champion for the NL, 348. I believe Clemente was second with 345, and then Jones at 340. Here's Pete Rose now. Switch hill. Let's not forget he's a 348 hitter. Pitch from Cardwell, 3-6, and that is a base hit by Pete Rose to lead it off. Oh, it's a beautiful night here out at Shea. Beautiful night. Okay, Cardwell will face Chico with Pete Rose on first. Nobody out. Chico switch hitter batting left. Pitch from Cardwell. 2-7. Grounds it to short. Weiss throws over to File at second. And there's one out. Couldn't turn the doubles, so it's Ruiz on first with one down. And here comes Tolan. Tolan twice through to home, and the Mets scored. Ed Charles did it, and then Jones did it. Stretching on a double from first. 5-0. Here's the pitch to Tolan. Not that I should expect Tolan to have thrown him out. I didn't realize Ed Charles was that fast. 2-4. Grounds it back to Cardwell. Tosses to second to get Chico. Another force out. Very, very clean. And he's a 1 in the field, not that that mattered. Now Tony Perez, a very dangerous man, with Tolan on first, 2 outs. Now Tolan is an A, but he's 1-13 -3, so he's a 1-10. He's being held, he won't go. Pitch to Tolan, to Perez. 6-7. Grounder to second. That's for File. Can he get it? No, it sneaks through into the outfield for a base hit. A seeing eye job that Bobby File could not get to, and it's a base hit. So it's first and second, 2 outs. And the very powerful Lee May. Lee is 0 for 2. Reached on an error. Cardwell from the stretch. The pitch to May. 1-9. Struck him out! And the side is retired. Don Cardwell gets Lee May for his 4th strikeout. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-0 Mets. I meant to tell you, if you didn't hear, and here's Jack Fisher, by the way, who was very impressive in his first inning of relief. And it's going to be Agee again. It's always an adventure with Agee. Opened up the bottom of the 1st with a home run to give the Mets a 1-0 lead. Walked twice. And he was involved in the runs being scored this inning. Okay, Agee is ready. Jack Fisher, the pitch to Agee. 4-8. Base hit up the middle for Agee. Oh, what a night for Tommy Agee. What a frickin' night. Lord. So Agee is on. Here's File, who made some pretty plays in the field last inning. I would bunt Agee, except they're winning 5-0. Here's the pitch to File. And Agee, by the way, not being held. 2-8. And it's a base hit by File. Agee, rounding second, slides into 3rd. What a night. If you're just joining us, it's a historic night here at Shea Stadium because this is the best record they've ever had this late in the season in franchise history. They're 1 game below 500. They started out decently, then they had a tailspin in May and June, and they've come back strong. And they got 5-0 first and second, no outs. And Cleon. Now, Cleon in '69 real world was a real star player because he hit 340. Seaver was a real star player. He won 25 games. Even Kuzman was a real life star. He won 17, I believe, but hurt for part of the season. But the rest of them, they're good fielders. Weiss, Swoboda, good fielders. Agee is a a really good player. 271, 26 homers. It's not a superstar. It's Jones, Seaver, Kuzman. And they won it all. Because they got all the right plays at the right time. It's amazing. First and third, no out. And Fisher in a jam and Cleon at the plate. What a night for Cleon. Walked twice. Came home twice. Tripled to open up the 2-run third. Here's Fisher now. They really can't afford to let anything up. And that's a ground ball to third, forcing File, and Agee scores. 6-0 Mets. Cleon. They should have had the infield in, but a lot of people wouldn't have. Here's Clendenon now. Clendenon had a double. Knocked in 2. In the 4th. 1 run in here, 6-0 Mets. Pitch to Clendenon. 4-5. Struck him out. So Clendenin goes down on strikes. That's the first by Fisher, 2 away. With Jones on first, he's being held. Won't go on bench. Just back from military reserve. The pitch to Swoboda. 6-2. Grounds it to first. Clendenin. 23. And he steps on the bag for the side. Nice play by Clendenin. Oh, I'm sorry. It was not Clendenin. May. A 3. I get a little confused sometimes. 1 run, though, on 2 hits and 1 left on. Look at that. 6-0 Mets. Never have they had this good a record. People love to talk about how the Strat-O-Matic team does not execute like the real world 69 team. I like to say, look how good they're doing. Compare it to franchise history. It's a different perspective. Here comes Cardwell throwing shutout baseball. And he had a very interesting inning last inning. With force outs, and then struck out May to retire the side. It will be bench Johnson, that's 6-7 punch, and Woodward. Bench just flew in this morning from wherever he was doing military service. Top of the 7th, holding my own. Here's Cardwell now. What a night for Cardwell. His endurance comes into play this inning. Here's the pitch to bench. 6-10, fly ball center. Under it is AG, and he's a frickin' 1. And he makes the catch. Nice catch, though, by AG. 1 down. And Alex Johnson, he was traded after this year to an American League team, I don't remember which, but, never really didn't have big numbers lifetime, but look how good he is. Just take a gander here. You can see for you, I don't need to read it, unless it's too small. Just bring it in a little bit. Johnson with 1 out. Cardwell, what a night for Cardwell. Boy, the Mets needed this tonight. Here's the pitch to Johnson. I know I'm counting there. Whoa, that's a base hit by Alex. Right up the middle. And Woody Woodward is the batter. And there'll be a hitter. I'm telling you, there'll be a hitter here on the 7th, down 6-0. Warming, just for your own notion, is Al Jackson. Jackson pitched this series, not last game. Okay, Cardwell from the stretch. The pitch to Woodward. Whoa! Do that again. 2-7. Grounds it to short. Weiss throws to second to File. Throws to Clendenin to first. That's a double play and the inning is over. Oh, what a night for the Mets. 6-4-3. Lord, 2-7. And there it is. Johnson was not being held. And we're in the middle of the 7th. You know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? It's time for the 7th inning stretch. And we invite you to stretch along. I'm going to be doing some private behaviors for the next 3 to 5 minutes, I hope. I don't think it's going to be any longer. I will be right back. And when I do arrive, it'll be the bottom of the 7th, Charles, Grody, and Weiss. Every Met in this lineup has reached base. Every Met has gotten a hit, except for Weiss, who got a walk. What a night for the Mets. It's an exciting night for Met fans. And I will be back shortly. What a ball game, wow. What a freaking game. Lord. Really, this is an exciting ball game. For the New York Mets. To some of you, this may just be a 6-0 ball game. In the 7th, about 2 teams you really don't care about. Maybe you don't like the Mets. Maybe you hate the Mets. Maybe, But to be here at Shea Stadium on a night when they can reach 500 for the first time in franchise history in July is really awesome. I'll be back shortly, about 3 minutes. Oh, what a freaking game. Greetings, everybody. It's Jeffrey Guterman with the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network, SBN, live from Shea Stadium. It's 6-0 Mets, and they're coming to bat in the bottom of the 7th to face Jack Fisher, who allowed a run. He's due up in the 8th. This may be his last inning. Pedro Bourbon is warming. Nobody has left this ballpark because it's a historic night. Mets on the verge of 500 baseball for the first time in July in franchise history. And leading it off for the Mets, Ed Charles. Everyone's made contributions. The Mets have done it tonight with their bats, their fielding, and the pitching of Don Cardwell, who has pitched 7 shutout innings. Ed Charles steps into the batter's box to lead it off. Fisher. The pitch to Charles, 2-6. He grounds it to short. Woodward has it, throws to May, and there's one away. And that brings up Jerry Grody. Oh boy, Grody. A single, a double. Made an error of no consequence. Here's the pitch to Grody. 1-8. And he singles again. Grody with a base hit. Oh my, what a night. Grody on first again. And the crowd just loves it. It's not just a 6-0 ball game. I said no one is leaving this ballpark. It's a historic ball game, and also Cardwell with the shutout. Grody on first, one down. Al Weiss now. Pitch to Weiss. 110. Pops it up to second. Chico. 2 down. Listen to the hand now for Cardwell. Cardwell steps into the batter's box with 2 outs and Grody on first. Here's the pitch from Fisher. Flies it to center, and there's Tolan, and the site is retired. Subscribe here. You'll never miss a game. 1969 replay is what we're doing currently. It'll go out anywhere between 12 and 18 months longer. We're on July 27, 69. We're averaging about 2 games a day. And there's going to be a hitter for Jack Fisher to lead it off in the top of the 8th. Fisher pitched 2. He allowed 3 singles and 1 run. Pedro Ramos will be the new pitcher. Coming in to hit for Jack Fisher To lead off the top of the 8th is Tommy Helms. Helms is a right-handed hitter. Okay, Cardwell is ready now. .411. Flies it to left. Under it is Cleon. 1 down. Top of the order, Rose. This would be the time for the Reds to make a comeback at 6-0, shut out by Cardwell. 2-11, and he chops it to first. Clendenin has it and steps on the bag. Rose retired. 2 outs. And here comes Chico. Telling you, Cardwell having a night. Here's his pitch to Ruiz. That's 6-7 lefty. Grounds it to second. File. Throws him out. And the side is retired. That's another 1-2-3 for Don Cardwell, who is on his way to a shutout of this very powerful Cincinnati Red lineup. Out comes Pedro Ramos. It's not, I thought it was Pedro Bourbon for a second. But I guess not, you know. Sometimes when you get buzzed. Okay, Bourbon I think is, I'm not sure who he's on. Anyway, it's the bottom of the 8th and the 4th Reds pitcher. This series has taken a toll on both bullpens. Agee will lead it off. Look at Agee, perfect tonight. 2 for 2, solo blast, a single and scored, walked twice. Here's Ramos. Agee flies it to center. Tolan, 1 down. Now Bobby File. I'll tell you, File 1 for 4. Scored a run when he reached on a force. Really good in the field. He's made a contribution. Here's the pitch to File. Hit him! File got hit, and the trainer's coming out. Let's take a look at his wrist. It looks like he was hit on the wrist. And that smarts. File hit by a pitch. The trainer is out. And File will stay in the game. And here comes Cleon. Woo! Cleon, 1 for 2, a triple, and scored. Walked twice, scored once on that. Cleon it's a Cleon kind of night. Of course, I think of it as a Don Cardwell night. If you're looking ahead to the top of the 9th, it will be Tolan, Perez, and May. I don't like to say the heart of the order when you have Rose, you know. I say let Tolan bat second if I were really doing it over. Then Perez, May, bench, Johnson, then Chico and Woodward. That's what I would do. I'm standing up right now. File on first, 1 down. Whoa, 310. And it's a base hit by Cleon. Whoa. File goes to second. +2, 1-14. They'll throw. Sure. Filed stretching it at 6-0. Here's the throw from Johnson. Again, it'll be a 112 +2, 1-14. And he is safe. And Jones goes to second on the throw. What a night for the Mets. God almighty. And here comes Don Clendenin. Second and third now, 1 out. Beautiful piece of hitting by Cleon. Woo! Here's the pitch from Pedro. 5-2. Grounds it to first. That's going to be Lee May. The infield is not in. 3-3. Oh, and it goes through for a base hit by Clendenin. File scores. Jones to third. It's first and third, 1 out. And a standing ovation here at Shea Stadium on a night when the Mets can do no wrong, if I may quote Kathy Harden. First and third, 1 out. And here comes Ron Swoboda. It's a 7-0 ball game. 6-6. Base hit, Swoboda. Jones scores. Clendenin goes to third. Oh my, 2 runs in. Ron Swoboda. Oh my Lord. First and third. Is action again in the Reds bullpen. It's Al Jackson. I'm telling you, these bullpens have been just pushed so hard. Mets used 4 relievers when Seaver got bombed yesterday. I'm sure some of you remember that. Don Cardwell, not only pitching a shutout, he's given that bullpen some much-needed rest. And here comes Ed Charles, first and third, still only 1 out. And the pitch to Charles. 2-6. Grounds it to short. Woodward turns the double play, and the side is retired. So, 2 more runs. After 8, it's the New York Mets 10. 8, I'm sorry, 8. And Cincinnati, nothing. And here comes Don Cardwell. Oh, Lord. It will be Tolan, Perez, and May. And I talked about taking another hit because I think I deserve it after this game. Looks like a semi-battlefield. It's a battlefield in the south. Clean, relatively clean. Shutout worth clean and peaceful in the north. Okay, here comes Bobby Tolan. 0 for 3 today. He reached on a force, left on base. Cardwell going for the shutout. I bet you there's a chance he might have thrown a shutout in real world either this year or some time in his career. Everybody, just about everybody, if you can make the majors, every dog has their day. But it's been all Don Cardwell. And there are 2 potential stars of the game. One is Cardwell, and the other one is the whole Met team for the hitting, the fielding, and the great play. I'm telling you. Okay, Cardwell. Tolan steps in. Here's Cardwell now. Whoa, a spinner, 6-7. Grounds it to second, file. Can he do it again? That's a re-roll. 23, that's another re-roll. 4-3, he throws him out. Bobby File has been doing it all frickin' night at second base. Lord. 8-0 Mets. Don Cardwell, 2 outs away from the shutout. 2-2 on Perez. Oh, it's lined to short, caught by Weiss. Oh, what a diving frickin' catch by Al Weiss. Oh my, let's look at that again. 2-2, single 1-9, line out 11. Oh, Lord. There's 2 outs, and here comes Lee May. Everyone's standing. Cardwell gets the sign from Grody. He's into his windup. Here's the pitch to Lee May. 4-4. Grounder to short. Weiss throws him out, and the ball game is over. Don Cardwell has pitched a complete game shutout against the Cincinnati Reds. And the Met bats were on fire. The final score, Mets 8-0 over the Reds. Oh, my Lord. What a frickin' game. The win goes to Cardwell, who went all the frickin' way. 9 innings. 6 hits. No walks. And struck out 4. No runs, a shutout. Don Cardwell, you are the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network's 1969 replay star of the game. The loss goes to Arrigo, which seems like an eternity. Final line in this ball game: New York Mets 8 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. The Cincinnati Reds, no runs, 6 hits, allowed by Cardwell, and no errors. This is a very historic night here at Shea Stadium because the Mets record currently stands at 48 wins and 48 losses. They're now 11 games behind the first place Pirates. They have the best record they ever had in July, probably June. And the only time they were ever playing 500 baseball in July. I bet you go back before 69, it goes further, maybe April. Even though the first few years, I think they lost their first 13 games. And on the first game, 3 of the players got stuck in an elevator and couldn't get to the park in time. Oh, I've had such a good time this evening. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We were looking forward to this ball game, and it turns out, it's not every day that an 8-0 ball game turns out to be so full of excitement because New York Mets. Looking ahead to our schedule, and there's nothing posted, I'll get to it in the morning. I anticipate it will be a morning game. But looking ahead at our schedule, we're still in the 27th, and our next game on tap is the Washington Senators at the Oakland A's, the final 4th game of their 4-game series. It's going to be Dick Bosman for the Senators. Howard and Epstein are going to be in the lineup. It'll be Luke Krause, sort of a spot starter for the A's, who are playing very good baseball, but, nothing like the Twins are just running away. Twins even have about a 3-game ahead of the pace of the Orioles, who are in first place. Luke Krause will be going for Oakland. Also, after that, we'll have San Diego at Pittsburgh. That's good because that's the first place Pirates we get to see, their final game of 4. It'll be Clay Kirby for San Diego and Jim Bunning. Actually, he might be with the Dodgers. I'd have to check. You know how Strat-O-Matic does the roster changes. We also have Boston at Seattle and the Giants at the Cardinals to wrap up the 27th. The 28th will be a travel day for most teams. There'll be the Giants at the Cubs, a new series, Padres at the Cards, a new series. But then the next day on the 29th, just to let you know, the New York Mets Wow, the New York Mets have 2 days off. That's very unusual. And I'm looking carefully. So they need that rest with their arms. The next day, though, the Mets are on a homestand, by the way. They will host the Astros. And that's always fun because they're the 2 original expansion teams of '62. So we're going to bring it all to you here on the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network. We hope you're well, and we're just going to cut it out right now. Final score, Mets 8, Reds nothing. Complete game, shutout by Cardwell, home run by Agee, 3 runs batted in by Clendenin, 2 by Swoboda, and the Mets are now at a record of 48-48, 500 baseball. Stay strong, everybody. Stay well. And we'll catch you next time.